An overview of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. Today's video is a Part 1 series of 7 series company that makes the COVID-19 vaccines. Pfizer's joint effort with BioNTech was the first vaccine approved in the US. Pfizer's BNT162b2 mRNA COVID-19 vaccine was the first vaccine against the novel coronavirus, COVID-19, approved for distribution in the United States. The approval came as an emergency use authorization on December 11 after clinical trials showed the vaccine is 95% effective in preventing COVID-19. Pfizer and the German immunotherapy company BioNTech began working together on the COVID-19 vaccine in March. The two companies began investigating mRNA vaccines together in 2018 to fight influenza. Clinical trials for the COVID-19 vaccine began in April 2020. And promising results from those trials led the companies to seek an emergency use authorization from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, in November. When was Pfizer's vaccine officially approved? Pfizer's vaccine approval was granted on December 11. Almost immediately after, Pfizer began shipping doses of the vaccine. How it works? The Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine is an mRNA vaccine, similar to the one developed by Moderna. The technology behind these vaccines has been around for about 3 decades and has shown promise in preventing notoriously difficult to prevent diseases like influenza and cancer. Unlike conventional vaccines that use inactivated or live viruses, mRNA vaccines contain no parts of the virus they fight. An mRNA, ribonucleic acid, vaccine is a single-stranded molecule that complements a strand of your DNA. These strands have a special coating that can protect mRNA from chemicals in the body that can break it down, and help it enter cells. Rather than exposing the body to a small amount of virus to create an immune response, mRNA causes the vaccine recipient to make the protein of interest. This includes helping the cell make part of the spiked protein that makes COVID-19 so potent, teaching immune cells to recognize and fight similar spiked proteins. How was Pfizer's vaccine tested? The clinical trial investigated how well two 30 microgram doses given 21 days apart worked in preventing COVID-19. More than 40,000 people participated in the clinical trial between July and November 2020, half receiving the vaccine and the other half a placebo. How effective is it? The Pfizer vaccine has performed very well in clinical trials. The effective rate of the vaccine was 52% between the first and second dose of the vaccine, 91% a week after the second dose, and 95% effective beyond that. According to the clinical trial report, out of the 10 severe COVID-19 cases noted in the study population, only 1 had received the vaccine, and 9 had received the placebo. How to get it? Pfizer-BioNTech were ready to start vaccinations just days after receiving a December 11 emergency use authorization, with the first doses given December 14. Initial supplies of the vaccination are expected to be tight, but officials with the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services estimated there will be enough doses to vaccinate 20 million Americans by the end of the year, another 50 million by January, and 100 million total by spring 2021. The CDC is leading vaccination efforts, and all orders of the COVID-19 vaccine from Pfizer, or any other manufacturer, will go through the agency. CDC is overseeing the distribution of vaccines. Healthcare workers and people living in long-term care facilities will be the first to receive the first of the vaccines, which will be limited at first as manufacturing ramps up. According to the CDC, there are more than 21 million healthcare providers in the US, and about 3 million Americans living in long-term care facilities. Each of these people would need to receive 2 doses of the top vaccine contenders so far, totaling nearly 50 million doses needed for the initial phase of vaccination alone. The CDC estimates it will take several months before the supply of vaccines catches up to the demand. Guidance on who will receive the vaccine and when will be decided as supplies become available. How many vaccine doses does America need? The US alone has a population of about 330 million, meaning nearly 700 million vaccine doses will be needed to vaccinate all of America if other vaccines follow a 2-vaccine dose. Although little information is available yet on the specifics of when everyone will receive the vaccination, and where they can get it, state and local health departments will be coordinating efforts to distribute doses of the vaccines as they become available. The vaccine should be available both in physician offices and retail locations like pharmacies that administer other vaccines. For now, the availability of the vaccine is somewhat limited due to its cold storage demands. The Pfizer BioNTech vaccine has to be kept at around -70 degrees Celsius. A version of the vaccine that can be kept at standard refrigeration temperatures is expected to be developed later. The current formulation of the vaccine can be stored for 5 days in standard refrigeration temperatures immediately before administration. Once the vaccine is available, any doses purchased by the US government will be free to its citizens. While the vaccine itself is free, the facility or agency that offers the vaccine may charge a fee for administration. Public health programs and insurance plans are expected to reimburse patients for any costs associated with COVID-19 vaccination, but not much information has been made available yet. Who can get the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine? The Pfizer BioNTech vaccine has been given emergency use authorization for people aged 16 and up. Safety information isn't available yet for children under age 16, pregnant women, and people who are immunocompromised. Additional data is expected in the coming months as additional trials are completed. Side effects and adverse events. Patients who were enrolled in the clinical trial were asked to keep a record of any local or systemic reactions after each dose of the vaccine. Mild to moderate pain at the site of injection was the most common complaint, with less than 1% of the trial group reporting severe pain. Most of the local reactions reported went away on their own in 1 to 2 days. Systemic effects, or reactions that affect the entire body, were more common in participants aged 16 to 55 than in participants who were older than 55. The most common effects were tiredness and headache. Less than 20% of the people who were vaccinated report a fever after the second dose. There were a few serious adverse reactions during the trial: one shoulder injury from the vaccination administration, inflammation of lymph nodes, cardiac arrhythmia, and limb pain or tingling. 2 participants died, one from arterial disease and another from cardiac arrest, but researchers did not attribute either of these deaths to the vaccine itself. Another 4 people in the trial died, but they had received the placebo, not the vaccine. 1. What are adverse reactions? Adverse reactions are considered to be medically significant, adverse events caused by a vaccine, whereas a side effect is more common and mild reaction. Pfizer BioNTech will continue safety monitoring for another 2 years on the initial trial group to watch for any additional reactions. Funding and development. Pfizer BioNTech worked together on the vaccine with the help of $1.95 billion in funding from the US government as part of Operation Warp Speed and the Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority (BARDA), a US government program aimed at furthering the manufacture and distribution of vaccines to fight COVID-19. According to Pfizer, the funds pay for the vaccine doses but were not used towards the research and development of the vaccine. The funding agreement entitles the US government to the first 100 million vaccine doses the company produces, plus an option to purchase 500 million more doses after that, to produce more vaccine for the rest of the world. More videos on the following vaccine makers on trial now, like Moderna, AstraZeneca, Oxford, Johnson & Johnson, Novavax, Merck, Sanofi, GSK. To see the videos on the above company, make sure to subscribe to my channel, videos posting every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Like, share and comment below for more videos on COVID-19 pandemic. Thanks watching, see you on my next video, Ma Salama.